Hello, Kyle here. Today I will be reviewing the fourth episode of Miss Marvel. It's titled Seeing Red. I think it's pretty fun that now I just watch Miss Marvel on Wednesdays and no longer Obi-Wan Kenobi because it sometimes it's been a bit of a hassle trying to watch both shows at once and then also review them. So I feel for many of the reactors right now that now no longer have to watch these two shows and just one of them, so I'm glad about that. But overall, I think that this was a pretty good episode. I think that, unfortunately, it's probably my least favorite of the episodes. I wouldn't say it's like where Moon Knight really had a steep decline for me. This episode of Miss Marvel just I think wasn't as good as the first three episodes, and I'll get into why. But I think that overall, I think the show is still really, really interesting, and it's great to see Kamala's culture still have such a large presence in the narrative and in the look of the series, because they could have easily, kind of abandoned her culture and just told a story about a New Jersey superhero in a way like maybe a Hawkeye, where it's just about a crime syndicate or something like that. But they really made sure in the writing of the show that they would keep the show very much centered on her culture and on her religion. And I really do think that was I think it was really, really smart for them to do that, because it's great to see representation. And I think that, once again, the actors in this show have not skipped a beat. Iman Vellani is still the heart of this show. She still exudes so much energy and heart in every scene that she's in. And I even think that this episode really is just as much about her as it is about her mother. And I like that we are getting a little bit more information, and we're getting a bit of the mother's character fleshed out. I think that this is a perfect TV series because we get to see more of these characters fleshed out on TV. Obi-Wan Kenobi, on the other hand, I thought would have been a better movie. But in the case of Miss Marvel, I think that the TV format is really serving it well, because there are many things of this story that I don't think they could have focused on in a movie. And I like that we are getting so much information about the relationship between the mother and her grandmother and the great-grandmother. And also, there's more, I think, mythology and lore being built into the MCU that we're learning about. And I really like that, because I mean, it's crazy to me how we had the first three phases of the MCU, and they gave us things like the Quantum Realm, like Kamar Taj, and the, different planets, and the Asgardian civilization, along with, um, um, let me look. What other movies did they tell us about? Oh yeah, Wakanda. So they gave us a lot of different types of cultures, but the thing is, I'm just stunned at how much Phase 4 is giving us. We have gotten stuff regarding Egypt. We have gotten stuff regarding India. We have gotten stuff regarding China. We have gotten stuff regarding is that it? I think there's one more. Oh yeah, the Eternals. So they really are building up the lore, which I really do love. And I love how in here we learn a lot more about the Nur, the Noor, and we learn about Kamala's powers a bit more, along with Kamala getting like her costume and the material for her costume. We were introduced in this episode to the Red Daggers. I've not read the comics, so I have no idea who these people are. I think they're interesting. The issue I have is that they introduced them in the 4th episode of this series. Now, this is only a 6-episode series. I find it kind of strange that they, in particular, this episode, have basically introduced a whole lot of more, like, stuff to this world that I feel like if there were 5 more episodes of this show, it wouldn't have felt as jarring and almost rushed. And this is becoming a tendency with many of these Marvel Disney Plus shows, where this 6-episode structure needs to go. It is not, I think, benefiting these shows. It didn't benefit Moon Knight. I don't think it really benefited Loki. I mean, even Hawkeye, I don't think it benefited. And I think that these shows really need more episodes to, one, flesh out their characters and to flesh out their lore and the world building, because right now we only have 2 episodes left, and I'm actually surprised in this episode Kamran had as minimal of a role he did, and they introduced this other character. And in the trailers, this character had a red like fabric on his face, similar to Elektra. And I thought in the trailers that would be Kamran, because I thought that somehow him and Kamala were going to help each other out. But it wasn't Kamran. It was a completely new character they introduced, who seems interesting, but like I feel like it's still, we're getting to a point where there's only 2 episodes left, and I think they should have introduced these characters either earlier, or I mean, I don't even know exactly what Kamran's going to be serving as a purpose in this series, because another issue I had with this episode was, is it the clandestines, the Jinn characters? It felt really convenient on how they were able to break out of a supermax prison that I still don't even know why Kamran was arrested, because if they look on the security cameras, they would have seen that Kamran was helping Kamala stop those guys. So I don't exactly know what is happening in regards to why they're in the Supermax. And then they just escape, and it looked like there was like literally a back door right next to where they escaped. It felt too convenient, and I don't know, something about the way Kamran interacted with his mother did not sit right with me, because Kamran just saw these people try and kill this innocent young girl, and he's trying to stop them in the last episode. And then he's not doing anything here. He's like, mother, come back. It's like, I hope that you, Kamran, go and save Kamala somehow, because, I mean, I don't know, I thought that was a little weird. I will say the one thing about that, though, is that Kamran seems to be having a mother relationship in a different way to what Kamala is having with her mother, but it's still like, I think this show is centered around like mothers. So I like that. However, I want that to be expanded upon more. I want that to be, hopefully it will be expanded upon in the next 2 episodes, but I don't know if they'll have enough time. Again, I really liked this episode. I really loved how Kamala was learning about her own culture and learning about what it means to live in India, and to have, a family there that doesn't, share the same culture with you that you are in America with. It's a bit different the way her cousins see the world than how she sees the world. I was missing Bruno. I was missing her father. I was missing Nakia. I was missing these characters that I've grown to love in the last couple of episodes. And what else about this episode that I did? I like the music choices. I always like the music choices in this show. And then we get to the ending. So I'm just going to spoil the ending because chances are if you're watching this video, you've already seen it. But the ending of this episode was really, really interesting to me. Because not only does it look like Kamala is, basically time traveling to her past to partition, but, I mean, this looks like a huge deal for just the MCU in general, because, I mean, as we've seen, the characters can time travel, but I don't believe, the characters in the MCU have been able to time travel as far back as Kamala just did. Because if I believe correctly, this is what, like, early 1900s? I'm not too sure. But that's a pretty, far back period of time for them to travel back to. So I think that's really, really cool. We also get to see, I don't know, like, she's trapped here, so that's a whole other thing that now in next episode I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know if she's going to be able to get out, or if we'll get to like half of the episode where she's back in the present day. But what's also strange to me is she still hasn't technically like got her actual costume, the one that we keep on seeing in the posters and promotional art. So I'm really hoping it's not in the final episode, because that's what's become the tendency with these Disney Plus Marvel shows. They wait till the final episode to give us the actual costume of the characters. So, I mean, if it's in the final episode, it's alright. But, like, I don't know. This show's interesting to me because I did not expect them to, at this point in time, move away from New Jersey. I thought that would be something that might happen at the very end of the series, but, like, I didn't expect it to be, like, in the middle now. And I know that there's probably other scenes in the trailers we have seen where she is in New Jersey. So I think she has to get back to New Jersey, but I don't know when she's getting back to New Jersey. So there's a lot of things left open. But as I said, overall, I enjoyed this episode. It's still a wonderful series. I will say, though, that I had some issues. I had issues with the way they introduced the Red Daggers really, really close to the last half of the series. I think that the clandestines are conveniently able to escape the prison they're in, and I'm just worried that the show may need more episodes to flesh out its story. But overall, it's still good. But let me know, did you like Ms. Marvel? What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Bye.